few announcements out of the way, and then we'll get into the real content. But forgive me, I know there's a lot of people who haven't been to the other sessions that we've had. This is the third of the bloggers, Sacramento bloggers, course creators, and solopreneurs meetup. And so I want to tell you a little bit about that. We do want to make this free for everyone, so I actually have my own growth marketing agency called Delta Agency, where I help people build out their digital presences and help them market online digitally. So I've just decided, instead of trying to charge people, I want this to be free, so I'm just going to pay for that through my own marketing agency. So, sponsored by me. And again, this is our third session, which is how to create a six-figure YouTube channel with a small subscriber count. And you're going to be learning from an expert who is making six figures with his YouTube channel and a very small subscriber account. He was actually an attendee at our second session, our second meetup. Everybody got so excited, and actually people shifted their focus from wanting to do just a WordPress written blog to seeing the value of a video blog or vlog, and so that's why we've decided to have Alex speak at this session. And just to tell you a little bit about the genesis and what this meetup is about, it's really about learning, networking, so connecting with other individuals, getting inspiration, setting goals, and really making progress and taking action, right? We've all have these things that we wanted to make progress on and we haven't been able to do it for whatever reason. Hopefully having this structure will help you. This is a monthly meetup. And we have sessions even more often than that. In fact, it's been less than a month since we've had our previous session. And we want to be participatory, so we want everybody to contribute. And if you have some great content or you want to share, you can absolutely be up here and be one of the speakers as well. And the reason we're doing all of this is about transformation. So it's about enacting change within our own life and really turning our passion into what we do every day. And it's about giving back. So the internet has given me a lot of things over the years, and I never really felt like I've given back, and so this is my opportunity to give back and help share information and what I've learned with others, so hopefully they can live the life that they want to, because it's really about improving your lifestyle. And you'll hear me talk about this a lot. It's about the path, and once you learn the path, then it's just about execution. So the best way to do that is learn from people who are already succeeding in that space. And that's really where I started to make a lot of gains, is when I found someone and started to model my efforts after what they were doing, because they were succeeding already. And it's about being able to work from anywhere with the internet. You don't need to be tied to a desk or an office. That's one of the great things since I started my digital agency about a year ago. Been able to do a lot of traveling and get around, which has been really wonderful. And at the heart of it, it's about blogging, video blogging, creating courses, and building a business. So if you're a solopreneur and it doesn't really fall in any one of those buckets, it's okay. We're going to help you build your business and help you with the digital aspect of that. And just to give you guys a little background on who I am, since we haven't really been introduced formally, I wanted to show my path and really what I've been working on. So it started with some ebooks. So I just produced some books on Kindle. I saw that as a path, a way to make money, and so I created a book called LinkedIn Gold, and started selling that on Amazon Kindle, and was able to generate, I think my biggest check was $400 and some 1 month, which was great. So I created multiple books, and then that turned into a lead magnet. So I said, you know what? I recognize that I need to capture emails, so I built out a lead magnet, which I use the format of a challenge. So on my personal blog, there's the Resume Refresh Challenge, and you guys are all more than welcome to go through that. And then that turned into a course, so I took that book and I turned it into a course, which I sell on Udemy, as well as on some other platforms. And then I multiplied that, so I said, hey, now I have this course, and I actually plug my challenge, my lead magnet, in the course, so people will go to my website and get this additional piece of content and give me their email address. And I started to build my email list, and I said, hey, why don't I build more of these sort of seeds, these golden nuggets, or these golden eggs. And so I built another course, a marketing automation masterclass course, and then I said, hey, let's try it and see if it works well for a free course. So I created a free course called Mac Keyboard Shortcuts. And I get it's a free course, so 2 to 8 units every day, and some of those people go download my lead magnet and they join my email list. And so the next step is getting off of those lower cost channels like Udemy and moving to a channel where you have to do all the marketing, but then you can charge whatever you want for your course, and that's a teachable platform. And so that's the process that I'm in right now. So again, that's my path. And the number one rule of digital marketing, and this is something I want everybody to take away today, is build your email list. Okay, that's what you should be doing with everything you do. Build your email list. And once I sort of cracked that code and started doing that, it started to snowball. It started to feel like I was actually being successful. So build your email list. Start to build that infrastructure so you can start to capture emails, and we'll help you do that in this meetup. In fact, I am going to make these recordings available on my blog. If you've missed the first one or two and you want to see them, you can go to my blog, lancewills.com/meetup. And again, you can fill out the form and you'll get access to my free resources. And there's lots of stuff there. You'll see it's all mixed together. Once you get in, you have access to all of my resume templates and some other stuff there. Because really the brand I'm trying to build is about, it's not one specific channel, which actually is better. It's more about this, I help entrepreneur-minded people turn their passion into a passive income stream and get out of the rat race altogether. I forgot right here. So help entrepreneur-minded people make more money in their job, create their first passive income stream, and then get out of the rat race altogether. Let's get started. So that's sort of my longer-term vision for the content that I want to build. And one more thing, so I can let our speaker get started. I generally send out a survey post-meetup, maybe in a few days. Definitely take a few minutes and fill that out, because that feedback is very valuable, and it will shape the content that we cover in future sessions. So here's an example of some of the results we got. So you'll see here a lot of people were interested in blogging, course creation, and then other types of businesses down below. Okay, and so that really is going to guide the content that we cover. And then here's where people are at in their journey. As you can see, most people really, they don't have an idea, or they have an idea, but they haven't really done anything yet. And so we're helping people make progress, and we're going to try to figure out what those barriers are and help them, get those out of the way. Or people I've started, but I know I could be doing better. So we want to help people with that. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our speaker, Alex, and I will let him introduce himself and get started. So thank you, Alex.
Hey guys, how are you? It's good to see a few of you who I already know. Actually seen yesterday too. All right, well, my name is Alex Guberman. I am a host and creator of a YouTube channel called E for Electric, about electric cars, or as everyone's going to call them cars in about 10 years. It's a small niche, and therefore the channel is small. I just recently crossed 30,000 subscribers. In the grand scheme of things, it's tiny. But as the name of this meetup humbly suggests, I'm actually able to make a pretty decent living on this, which I cannot wait to start sharing with other people so they can do the same. Because my frustration all throughout my journey, and it hasn't been an easy journey, I have to say. No breaks. Nobody tweeted me out, and I just blew up, and it was just all crawling and scratching through this whole web of YouTube, and I just wish somebody would have said all those things to me that I'm hoping to share it with you guys. And I think the biggest issue for me was that everybody was giving me advice through inspirational speakers, or if you go to VidSummit and everything, these are the people who have like millions of subscribers. They make ridiculous amount of money, and I just knew they just weren't living in my universe of this common folk, right? To them, getting I would ask them, well, how do you get a sponsor? How do you get a sponsor for a channel? Oh, it's really easy. You just call up Nike and they'll sponsor you. That's all. It doesn't work, like that in our universe. And by the way, I'm saying in our universe, so even if you have 1 subscriber and I have 30,000 subscribers, to them, we're in the same bucket of small YouTube channels. So I just recently completed sort of the journey. I finally got the big sponsor in addition to other sponsors that I had. And there's some income sources that didn't work for me at all. And I'm still going to talk about them because they might work for you. Now, I'm not just kind of wanted to share it with people. I'm actually going to make this journey together with whoever decides to start the journey as well. I'm starting a second YouTube channel from scratch. 0 subscribers. It actually has 4 subscribers, but like Eli is one of them, my mom is the other one, but it's just 0 subscribers. And it's going to have a completely different topic, different model, different business plan. So I'm starting pretty much fresh. And I am pretty confident that I can make also a 6-digit income from that before it hits 10,000 subscribers, just because I'm now going to be using my own sort of advice and avoid all of the things that I shouldn't be doing. Really concentrate on making money. So let's talk about what makes a successful YouTube channel. And by the way, just so I know, how many of you guys have a YouTube channel right now? Okay, and how many of you want to start a YouTube channel? Or, okay. Maybe? Okay, all right. What about any other social media, like Instagram, blogging? What do you have?
Blogging, Instagram.
Okay, all right. So, you know, what I'm going to be talking about can be applied pretty much anywhere with a little bit of adjustment, right? So even though I'm going to be talking a lot about YouTube, this is applicable to almost everything. Okay, so let me ask you guys, what are your goals for your YouTube channels or whatever it is that you're doing with your social media platform? At what point would you consider yourself successful? What does a successful YouTube channel look like?
An extra $500 a month would be nice.
There's an honest guy right there.
But so I was making money, and then all of a sudden YouTube changed the rules and said you have to have 4,000 viewable hours per year, and then 1,000 subscribers.
So we're going to cover that.
And then boom.
Yeah,
I
we're going
got
to cover
cut off
that.
from my income.
Yeah, because you were making money on pre-roll ads, right? Correct?
I guess I was
Yeah.
making money on ads, you know.
Right. Yeah. Okay, we'll cover that. So to me, let me answer my own question. The successful YouTube channel, I consider YouTube channel as a small business. And so a successful small business to me is the one that makes money, right? You nailed it on the head, but also allows me to do what I love for a living. Would that is that in the ballpark with most of you guys would consider, right? So, so from the very beginning, the YouTube channel or whatever social media platform you choose has to basically have a business plan. And I don't mean a business plan that would let's see from let me go back for a second.
Will you have the slides available?
Huh?
You'll have these available later on?
Lance, right? We're
You're
gonna have them
recording
available, and it's gonna be recorded. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So let's, business plan is probably the most important thing that you can come up with in the beginning. And I don't want to say business plan like it's a plan for your business. It's basically you have to realize where you're at right now, who your competitors are, so do market research, and then ask yourself where do you want to be when you are successful YouTuber, Instagrammer, blogger, whatever, right? And then everything in between, it's good to have a plan, but as you know, things don't go according to the plan because you're going to face some challenges, there will be some adjustments to make. But at least if you know where you're at right now and what the end of your journey looks like, it's much easier that way, right? A lot of people start YouTube channels and they go like, well, I want to follow my passion and I want to follow my dreams. And I'm here to tell you guys, don't follow your dreams. It's either or. Unless your dream is to make money, right? Just because you absolutely love doing something and it's your hobby does not mean you are good at it as a business person, and it doesn't mean it's going to make you any money, right? So this is a tough challenge that you're going to have. Is you're going to have to kind of decide, hey, what is the balance between making money and doing what you really, really like? When I was starting my YouTube channel about electric cars, I actually had 3 YouTube channels, and when I realized that. It was a big epiphany for me. I realized that I couldn't pay for the groceries at the grocery store with my subscriber count. It only accepted dollars. So once I realized that you actually, this has to translate to money at some point, then I decided, okay, I'm going to concentrate on one YouTube channel, and I picked the least fun one. The electric car channel was my least fun channel, but I knew that this was going to at least had the potential of making the most money. Fortunately, I was right, and I'm still having a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, all 3 channels, I like doing all of them, but you're just going to have to sacrifice maybe some of your fun, some of your passion into making money. So don't follow your dreams, but follow the money. Figure out where the money is at. Figure out if you're in the right niche, because it's always recommended that you're going to be in the right niche. And as you know, even if you're starting a non-social media business, the first thing that people always tell you is what? solve somebody's problem. If you're solving someone's problem, you should be successful. And a lot of times, your passion will also come from the challenges that you've solved and overcome in your life, right? So if you've done that successfully, that should be your passion. That should be your calling for your channel. I think we were talking about after the last meetup with somebody, and we're trying to decide, I'm not really sure if she's here, but we were trying to decide what she should do your YouTube channel about. We were talking about her hobbies until I realized what she does for a living. I guess her and her husband owns a pool cleaning service. And I was like, well, wait a second. You already have an amazing skill that people hire you and pay you money to do. You just have to translate that into your YouTube channel. There are so many different ways how you can monetize. And by the way, you have to understand, YouTube channels and social media platforms, they're just the tool for you to sell something. Either someone else's product or your product or both, right? There's really no money in subscribers. In terms of just having subscribers, there's just no money. So you have to figure out which problem you're solving so you can be good at it. If you know you're already good at it, you know you're going to be successful at it. Test the waters with Facebook groups, actually, or local meetups like this. If you're not sure if your idea is going to work, go and see if there's someone else doing this. Are they successful? Do you think you can do better than them? Go into the Facebook groups and tell somebody, hey, I have this product. You know, would you guys buy it? Or where can I buy a product like that? And the people are going to say, oh, I don't know. I wish somebody would have created it. Then you know your product is good, or your content. Figuring out what you're selling is difficult because sometimes until you're selling it, you don't know if you can sell it. Now, there are different types of products you could be selling, and I will tell you about them in a little bit, but it's important to pick what it is that you're selling before you even start your channel. Figure out who you're selling it to, because essentially you need to pick your target audience, right? If you don't know who you're targeting, how can you create content? It's a shot in the dark. So that's important. Number 6 is probably the most important. And I mean, I'm talking about how I'm talking about how to make money, but you also need to know how to YouTube or how to Instagram and so forth. Follow guys like Nick Nimmin and Owen Video and Daryl Eves, and all of them, if you watch their YouTube channels, will tell you how to do YouTube, how to get subscribers and views, because essentially you do need to do that as part of the whole YouTube journey. So definitely, I mean, my favorite is Nick Nimmin, full disclosure, he's also my YouTube coach, and that's another thing I wanted to suggest. Hire a YouTube coach. Now, they're not always cheap. If you don't have the budget to hire a YouTube coach, get a workout buddy, right? When you go to the gym, you have a workout buddy. They don't always help you to actually work out, but they're there to make sure that you're also there, and you're talking about like what your goals are and what your achievements are. Do the same thing with YouTube. Pick another person who's doing a YouTube channel, maybe in the same level and position as you are, and have a workout buddy. Have a meeting every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, 8 o'clock, you're meeting for coffee or you're doing Skype. Talk about what you've achieved over the week. Talk about what your goals are for the next week. And of course, you will be held accountable next week because you're talking about it again. Share your experiences. Share what you found out from Nick Nimmin and other people on YouTube. It is extremely important because we all have lives, right? And it's really difficult to carve out time for something other than your full-time job and your children and a lot of other things, right, and your family. This will keep you honest, so I strongly recommend, even if you can pick somebody out here or any of these meetups, that would be a huge value to you guys, and I really, like, having a coach, I probably wouldn't have been a YouTuber if I didn't have a coach, to be honest with you. Like, as a matter of fact, the biggest brand deal that I got, I was almost ready to quit because it's been 8 months since our negotiations and everything. Their attorneys did something that I really didn't like. And I was like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm going to move on to another sponsor. And it was my coach who actually talked me into a different strategy, which we implemented, and it worked. And I signed the deal within a week of that. You know, so another voice in your head and just another opinion from the outside will help a lot. So please do that. Create a content strategy. The best way to do it is once you pick the topic, what you're going to be talking about on your YouTube channel, blog, or whatever, create a list of 52 at the very least. I would suggest 104 video topics that you're going to cover, right? 52 meaning if you're going to do it once a week, 104 if you're going to do it twice a week. It's recommended that you post at least 3 times on YouTube per week, but twice is still okay. If you can't get to 52, maybe that's not the channel you should be doing if you don't have enough topics, right? The channel that I'm starting right now, I can probably go to 200-300 easily, so I know that's the right channel for me. Let's move. Oh, any questions, by the way, guys, so far? By the way, don't have to wait. If you have a question, just fire it at me.
Are you posting just raw video content, or are you doing PowerPoints? You know, is it just you speaking?
So mine are mainly news. So I do 3 videos per day. And so I do news, I do them live, I stream live on Patreon. Then I record them and I post them throughout the day on YouTube. But sometimes I do reviews, like I will go in somewhere and review a car, or there will be an event and I'll do an event. I have guests on the show as well. Actually, Eli over there has his own segment on my channel, so we do like every Wednesday. He comes on as sort of a co-host and we do a conversation. So it's different, but most of the time it's live and I just post it and I do it on OBS, yes.
And then are you shooting it all yourself? I saw you have a cameraman on some elaborate shoots.
Yes, so when I get invited, so a lot of times a brand would invite me to go somewhere and, you know, depending if they're paying for 1 person or 2 people, but lately I've been able to bring an assistant. So if you can bring an assistant and a cameraman, then definitely do. Like for example, it's also part of one of my brand deals is where they pay for my assistants to fly with me wherever we go, wherever they want to bring us. But what? Yeah, so, but you're gonna have to do a lot of stuff yourself in the beginning, right? And actually, I think that's one of the most beautiful things about YouTube is that you are in full control. By the time you need a cameraman or an editor and all of that stuff, that's a good problem to have. But you're in control. You're not relying on other people. Like, for example, if you have a hair salon, right, you have to rely on, you know, hairstylists who just got out of school and all they care about, you know, other stuff, not cutting hair a lot of times. All right, so let's move, unless there are any other questions, I wanted to move on. Okay. So, yeah, so I already covered the coming up with a business plan. Just make sure where you're at right now and where you're going. All right. So let's talk about what are the ways, let's see how I'm doing, okay. What are the ways how people make money? This is going to address your issue. There are good ways to make money, very strong ways to make money, and that you make more of them. And they're kind of, you know, lazy ways to make money. The less you have to do to make money, the less money you're going to make. Does that make sense? Right? So the lazy ways to make money is pre-roll ads, Google ads, affiliate links, merchandise sales. All of these are basically when you just have to click, go, right? Monetize my videos, or sure, print out those shirts and send them to people and send them the check. People still make money on it, don't get me wrong. I make money from pre-roll ads all the time. It's just I can't count them. As you guys know, YouTube had the, what is it, adocalypse, whatever they were calling it, when they turned the ads off and everybody lost their money and stuff like that. Same with Google ads, affiliate links also. With affiliate links, you're essentially selling other people's stuff and only getting a small percentage. If you're selling stuff, sell your own stuff where you benefit much greater than 7% from Amazon and so forth, right? You can still do, and don't get me wrong, there are some few people who do make money just exclusively on these. I believe they're still leaving a lot of money on the table. And don't not do them, definitely. If you want to sell a t-shirt, go ahead and sell a t-shirt. But let's talk about the strong ways of doing that. And not all of these will work for your channel because it depends on what your content is. So the first ones, and that's what my strong point is, sponsors. All right, this is where a brand will pay you. A lot of times for one video, you know, let's say Audi will come and say, listen, we have a new electric car. Why don't you do a test drive and make a video about it? And you go, sure. And then you say, well, you negotiate a price and it's just one video, they pay you one time. That was great, and a lot of people, that's how I make money. My idea was from the very beginning is to get a sponsor who will be a regular sponsor, just like a TV show would have, right? If Pepsi is sponsoring CNN's Don Lemon or whatever shows that they have, they're going to sponsor them every week for like half a year, right? Not just one show. that's the type of sponsors you want. And you have to figure out how, on your channel, you can make sure that you promote them regularly. I'll give you my example. This is how I managed to do it, but you do you. You find your way. So whenever I do my new segments, I basically put a logo of my sponsor up in the top corner, so it says sponsored by. And that way, I can sell this to sponsors saying, hey, listen, any video that people are going to watch while you're sponsoring my channel will absolutely 100% know that you're my sponsor, that you exist. I also, in the beginning, go for about 3 or 4 minutes. I kind of ramp up the topic and start getting people excited. I said, before I go any further, I just want to make sure you guys know that this video is sponsored by, and then I talk about the sponsor about 10 or 15 seconds, run a quick video right next to me here, because I have like a news thing going on here. And they go, oh, that's right, what was I talking about? Oh, that's right, and this is the topic, right? What I've noticed is that people don't even have a chance to leave. Like by the time they're like, do I want to be listening to this? It's over. But most of the time, you need to pick the sponsors that people actually will like. Like when I'm advertising somebody, people go like, oh, I didn't know about that brand. Oh, I didn't know to reserve that car you don't have to put any money down. Or I didn't know there's a specific discount code that seller just generated for us, the audience of this channel. So a lot of times, make sure it's also a service and not just a boring advertising for them, right? So know the companies that make the products that your audience wants to buy. So therefore, it's not even a boring ad anymore. That's another community service you're doing for them while getting paid. So try to get sponsors that are going to be ongoing. The other way to make money is Patreon. And this is where you decide what kind of channel you are. I suck at Patreon because my news show is like, let me tell you what's happening, and this is my opinion. Goodbye. There's no much of a community going on in my comment section. So my fans are not exactly, oh, I really want to contribute to this channel. I want to be a Patreon. They don't. The only people who actually contribute to my Patreon are the people who want to watch my shows live. Right? They want to know right away when I go live and watch my show live, and that's it. That's the only way for them to really be interested in contributing. But there are tons of channels where the people actually like the host, right? I'm the talking head. I'm a lot of times I'm saying even stuff they don't even like because it's the news. But family blogs, or just if you're a very likable person, and most YouTubers are, I'm just an exception, I think, people will be more than happy to either donate to you, because especially that's what Patreon is, it's a tip jar, or they will say, you know, I love this guy or this girl so much, I would love to pay for the extra content that they're producing, or maybe just doing a live chat with your followers once a month or once a week. That's good enough for them to give you $1, $2, $5, $10 a month, and that's what Patreon is. How many people know what Patreon is like?
I know, but I don't really know how it really works.
So it's a separate site where you send your subscribers to, and that's where they will get an account and they can join at the different levels. And you pick how much they'll pay you per month. See, I like monthly income because it's guaranteed that next month you're going to make at least 80% of that, right, statistically. And you can say, okay, for $1, a lot of times people say, well, I'll give you a hug whenever we see each other, right? Like just $1 is just $1. But for $3, I will share a picture once a week of something, you know, me and my kids, or me on my vacation or something. They want that. For $5, you guys will be invited to the live chat that I do with all of my Patreons, right? People really, really like that. Something exclusive. And it can go all the way to whatever it is that you guys want, right? A lot of people do really well on Patreon. The only thing is Patreon itself is a relatively brand new company, and they've already changed their model. Should I click on it again? They've changed the model a little bit. They started as a tip jar, and now it's a subscription service where you're supposed to provide content for people. But overall, they're probably the most stable. There is another way. You can literally just take your donations from PayPal or create your own WordPress or any type of website where it's your own website and your own member area and your own PayPal account. But make sure that if you have a fan base that really like you and want to spend more time with you, want to see the behind the scenes stuff from you, that there is a way for them to pay you for that on a regular basis. And those guys, oh man, those people are so loyal. They absolutely, like the max I think you can do on mine is $5, but I get $20, $30 donations and I suck at Patreon. Most of you are going to be much, much better than me. And if it's a community-based channel, absolutely must. Patreon, for sure. Your own product and services. I mean, this is, yes, Eli.
What's your advice on how established you should be before jumping into Patreon?
So this goes to the content strategy. You should establish what you're selling before you start your channel or relaunch your channel, right? And so if Patreon is part of it, then on day one. My new channel that I'm starting, my product is not going to be, my money is not going to come from sponsors. It's going to come from courses, right? I'll be selling a course. So I'm going to create the course first. It's going to take 2 months, but I'm going to do it before I start, right? So whatever it is that you're selling needs to be ready on day one, right? Because your video that you will make on day one will be there in 3 years. So if somebody sees that video in 3 years, you need to make sure that the video is selling what you are selling after those 3 years. Does that make sense? And by the way, if you guys already have YouTube channels and somehow this doesn't fit, somehow you think, hey, listen, I don't see a path forward where I can make money. You know, relaunching a channel or rebranding the channel or starting another channel may be painful, but it could be a solution for you guys if you want to actually go ahead and start making money. I have to say that, again, my channel was about men's fashion, it was about dating and all that stuff, and California lifestyle. It was fun, but it wasn't making any money. And I don't see how it was going to make me any money almost ever. So I decided to go a different route. So if you're doing something that you absolutely love, but you don't think it's going to make money, try to rebrand yourself, or just try to do something different as long as you understand that this will bring me money at the end of the day. So talking about products and services. You can make stuff, right? You can literally make things, sell clothes. In my case, it's going to be a course. Now, this is actually very popular with YouTubers, especially if you're teaching somebody, right? And I think I know a few guys here who do coaching, so that you for sure, right? You put together a course. You put together a course about whatever it is that you're teaching, and you will make videos about the very topic, but at the beginning of every video, like my strategy is going to be saying, hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Alex Guberman, off. And then I'm going to give them the URL. And after that, I'm just going to keep going. Just make sure that URL, like mine was going to end with Academy, right? So it's going to be socialincomeacademy.com. They're like, oh, that's where people learn stuff. Okay. And by the way, this meetup is perfect if you're thinking about starting a course, because he is pretty much the expert on that. And that's where I'm going to be going for my advice on starting a course. So the course is basically you teaching everything you know, like everything you know. And then your videos that you're going to be making on your YouTube channel or blog posts you're going to be posting, that is basically kind of almost teasers. You're going to be giving them pieces of information here and there, but essentially your goal is to channel them all to the course. And I got to tell you, I know people, so I know this guy, so he was at about 22,000 subscribers when he launched his course, and I think he made $18,000 in the first week, right? He already had people who were interested in him and his advice. Finally, he put together the course, and boom, he made $18,000. Now, it makes me also wonder how much money he left on the table, because he could have been making some money all the way to $22,000, right? This is why I'm recommending doing this before. I'm not going to launch my channel until I have a course, because working on a course is, you can pretty much attest, is a humongous project. All right, but if you're doing something else, if you're doing real estate or CPA services or whatever, then your YouTube channel is basically a vessel for you to sell those services, right? Just like I said, YouTube channel should be a vessel to sell something. Is that making sense? Yeah? Questions?
The courses, content amount, if it's related to price point, you know, is there even a standard?
There is no standard. Basically, you kind of have to know your niche, right? So like, I'm going to make 5 courses that are going to be about 5 most popular topics. I'm going to sell them separately for $99, but if people want to get the whole thing, it's going to be $299.
And how many hours of content do each course?
So it's up to you, but I feel if you're going to pay me $99, I'm at least need to be good for 30 to 45 minutes, if not an hour. You know, I think that's, but it depends on advice. If I can make a video in 5 minutes on and give you this like the best advice ever, then, you know, it also depends on your audience.
So what's the difference between that? You see, if you're going to give like an hour of content, but you're how do we get the customer to jump from that to this?
Well, so the main reason for the course is actually organized course, right? Because the channel is things are here and there, and there's life, and there's a lot. But this is basically an organized course. So part of your value of that course is not always necessarily content; it's the organization of that content, right? But at the same time, by the time you launch your channel, you already have your course. So you know what your information is going to be. So make sure you don't give everything out in this, don't repeat your course that people are paying money for, right? And the course should be more in depth, something that you wouldn't want to put in a video anyway when it's like really in depth. Does that make sense? So, yes.
So what platform would you recommend to build out a course?
Right, so you should attend this meetup because that's what Lance talks about every time. But I'll just give you a really quick my view on this. There are two types. One is like Udemy, right, where they also kind of promote you as well. So you dump your course over there, and they kind of find the customers for you. Obviously, you have to sacrifice the price because I think they have a very strongly suggested price. In my case, I think in all of your cases, you should be driving people to your course through your YouTube channel, through your blogs, through your Instagrams. So you should get just simply a host, what is it, Teachables? Teachables, so there's another one where all they do is give an ability for your users to get a password, to pay you, and to host the classes where they can go through them in an organized fashion. And that's all it is. And I think it's like $100, $150 per month, That's another decision you have to make, but I strongly recommend relying on your YouTube channel to drive people to your courses, Okay, so let me move forward. Train your audience from day one. Don't hold back. Let them know you're selling stuff right away. When I started my YouTube channel, I approached a relatively known company in my space. I already had some relationship with them, and I said, hey, how about this? You pay me nothing. Just pay me nothing. I just want to use your name, and we'll pretend like we're friends, and you pay me money, but I'm actually just going to advertise you. And they're like, hell yeah. I said, great. So from day one, my audience gotten used to saying, Alex has a sponsor. And the logo's always going to be there, and he's always going to stop his video for about 20 seconds and tell us about it, right? And we're also going to have a discount code or something. So by the time people started, my sponsors actually started paying me, nothing changed. My audience did not complain. Make sure to turn your pre-roll ads right away whenever you can, because they'll be like, okay, this channel has pre-roll ads. You can have a comment of the day that's sponsored by somebody as well, right? Just go all out. Make sure to start your video with I am from whatever.com, or just go all. If people come into your channel and they don't like it, they're not your viewers. By the way, none of your viewers are clients. They're not customers. Your customers need to be paying you money. Your customers are sponsors or your Patreons. Your viewers are not your customers. They are just your audience. That needs to be very clear. Your customers, you can only call people customers if they're bringing you cash, which means it's going to be the Nike or the guy, your fan, who's paying you money on Patreon, or somebody buying your course. Those are your customers. So really quickly, how do you reach out to sponsors? Because this has been a problem for a lot of people, because if you're going to call them up or contact them, they're just not going to reply to you. If they do, you are so lucky, and even by the time you start having a conversation with them, they're going to realize that even though maybe your audience is perfect, it's just too small and you're not worth their time. Like, they'll be like, I'm sorry, I have to get 10 million people to see this product in the next week, and you at best will bring me 5,000. I like your channel, I like your audience, you're just not worth my time. So the sponsors have to be within a reason of your level. However, it all comes down to relationships, and this is why my major sponsor. Normally, this just normally wouldn't happen, because they're an automaker sponsoring a channel with 30,000 subscribers. That's just not going to happen. The reason they are sponsors is because I've ended up attending a lot of events, covering them a lot. Making friends with a lot of their staff. They ended up inviting me to more events and so forth. I got to know their PR people and marketing people. their executive staff, their CEO and their board members, and all of that. After all of that, I could start having a conversation about, hey, how about you guys can sponsor my channel? Because like I see you guys just paid $200,000 for that booth, and I'm standing here all day. I don't know, I've seen maybe 20,000 people at best walking by. But for like 10,000 of that money, I'll give you just the same amount of people who are specifically targeted audience, And that actually makes sense for them, right? I mean, because you're going to save them money. Except for because they know you, they actually will listen to you. And somebody told me this thing, go to events. So by the way, go to the events. Go to their PR events. Don't contact their marketing department. Marketing department doesn't want to work with you, okay, or me. Go to their PR people. PR people of the brands, they're in charge of talking to you, the influencers. Sometimes they'll have a social media influencer manager or relations person specifically to talk to you guys, to us. They are more likely to talk to you, even just at least have a conversation. They have their own budgets, by the way. Sometimes your sponsor's budget will come from their PR people, not their marketing people. They are the ones who will have their email addresses. If you go to the press link on any brand's website, they will have their email address for their press person, and you can get a hold of them. Same goes for politicians. I had a congressman on my show, and that's how I got a hold of him as well, through their press department. Marketing department is just not going to talk to us, period. So go, be seen, make sure that you go to their events. At some point, a lot of times they won't pay you, but they will invite you to an event or a test drive or whatever it is that your niche is. And same goes for everything else. If you're doing a political show, make sure to go to fundraisers, make sure to go to their public speaking engagements and all of that stuff. Make sure to be seen, make sure to mingle, and genuinely make friends. Don't kiss ass, just genuinely make friends, because if this is the brand that's going to sponsor you, you need to be a fan of that brand, and you also need to be a friend of their people, of people who work there. Is that making sense? So go to the events, create relationships, start with the PR people, not marketing people, even though your goal is a lot of times marketing. But when you do approach them, media kit. How many of you know what a media kit is? Okay. All right, so media kit is kind of like a resume for your channel or for your social media platform. And I can go in depth with it some other time, but essentially it will, in a very, very, very short amount of time, because they don't have time for you or us, tell them who you are, what your channel is about, give them the best off. Like, for example, I interviewed some really popular people and I put them in there, give them your stats in terms of what your demo is, how many men, how many women, which countries and state and so forth, and tell them what the value is. And make sure that it looks great. If you have to hire a graphics designer, use Fiverr, use your friends, make sure that it looks really, really great. One of my courses that I'm putting together is going to be about specifically how to put a media kit together. Because much like with your resume, if you send it out to PR people and they're not impressed, you probably will miss out on the relationship with them. Now, the fact that you have one is already going to put you in front of like 80% of people. But then you have to go through the other 20%, and if it looks great, and if they see that you're maybe not that big, but you're taking it professionally and you are going to be big, or you're already treating it like it's a big YouTube channel, a big business, they might just treat you as such and invite you to events. Happened to me all the time, where I had no business. I just went to Kia's event, where I think the smallest, besides me, the smallest publication was like Forbes. Right? I obviously had no business being there, but because I was able to, impress them in some ways, luckily, and be able to attend other events and make a few videos that I showed them as well, they decided, let's give this guy a chance, because after all, there's a chance that I'm going to grow, and you guys are going to grow, and you're going to be a player in their industry, and they don't want to discount you that quickly, because they will need you once you grow, right? They'll stay the same probably. Kia's not going to grow that much further, but you will. So that's very important. Let me move forward. People don't like when I say this, because it's you have to treat this as a job, even if it's a part-time job. You have to carve out 20 hours every week for this. And the way I did it, I had a full-time job, and I play soccer and hockey in local leagues. I have no time. But I carved out time from not watching hockey or not watching Kardashians, whatever it is that you watch, you've got to have to cut it out. I know you don't want to. Another thing? Snoozing. I know you think it sounds crazy. How many of you snooze in the morning? for another 10 minutes or so. Really just one person? Liars. Okay, all right. Right. Actually, there are books written about it. And I started doing it very recently, unfortunately. So I snooze for about an hour. I used to snooze for about an hour. Now, scientifically, and I'm not a doctor, but scientifically, you don't get any good quality sleep once you're snoozing. You know that, right? You don't fall into deep sleep anyway. So you're essentially wasting your time being lazy, and that's how you start your day. There are books on what you do in the morning when your alarm goes off, what to do to actually start working. Like physically, I can't get up, okay? I can't. But I work on off of my phone, so I get all of my news stories while I'm still in bed. By the time I get up, I'm already going to turn my camera on. So learn how to. So there are alarms that will jump off of your nightstand and start running around and making noises. You also want to drink some water and do some sit-ups and stuff like that. Whatever works for you, but you will find a lot of time, probably 5 hours a week. A lot of you will find. So find that time and treat this as a job. And that's where the workout buddy is very important, is that they will hold you to it, right, the next day. Because they're like, hey, on the next week, like, I've carved out 20 hours out of my life to do this. Why didn't you when we agreed to that? So you will have to make sacrifices. And your families will have to understand it's going to be just like having a second job. And if you don't commit to it, if you're not treating this as a second job, why will your future advertisers, why will your viewers, why will the PR people you're going to work with, you have to respect your future job more than all of them before they even know about you. Does that make sense? I know nobody likes to listen to this and hear this, and I also I hate missing hockey games. I hate missing out, sometimes going out, but you got to do it. You just have to do it. Without it, the rate of success has proven to be very low. So I'm sorry to be the messenger there. So really quickly about, I want to make sure there's no misconceptions. People think that YouTubers live on their own islands and stuff like that, and it's just, actually be prepared for it's up to you how to create the life, but being your own boss is amazing, but that's also a problem because you're holding yourself to the highest standard, and a lot of times you're not going to fit into 40-hour week. A lot of times you will have to work on weekends. The trips that I told you about, they're amazing trips. Not gonna lie, they bring you to this amazing, parts of the world, and they pay for everything, but you go there on their time. You don't go to the beach. You go and work. You do reporting. A lot of times you'll fly in. Yes, you're gonna fly in business class. You're gonna put you in a 5-star hotel. But guess what? You're getting up, and even though you got no sleep or whatever, you turn your camera on. You make sure everything's working, and you start reporting. So just so you know, the life is really, really cool, but it's also a lot of work. So don't think that just once you make it, you just stop doing it. Actually, it's more work, and it's going to be up to you. Like for example, I don't take travel very well. For my health, it's really harsh, so I've cut down on my travel, and it's unfortunate. But you're going to have to make your own choices because the life will get more and more demanding. So in conclusion, listen, this is the best job in the world, I think. For you to get in front of a bunch of people, they will listen to what you say. Most of the time they will love you. Not in my case, as I mentioned this, but most of the time they're going to love you, and you'll get money for it. Then you get to travel and have all the stuff for free that they send you. It's great. So in order to have the cojones to say, I'm going to do this, you also need to have the work ethic, the time, the sacrifice to get there, and a plan, and work really, really hard, because this is very possible for everybody. And by the way, nobody who I know who's a YouTuber ever wanted to be a YouTuber from the very beginning. Everybody's kind of walked into it, the life brought them in there, and everybody's treating it as a small business. Nobody's treating it like the makeup girls that got popular 5 years ago. This is a small business, and it requires a lot of work. And I think if you guys have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. Yes?
Yeah, I noticed, I was looking at some of your sites, and you also repurpose your content. I noticed you'll have a text version.
Yes, so, right, so I also just launched a website because now I have money to hire a writer. So the best thing that YouTube loves, so the YouTube basically will love you as long as you keep people watching YouTube videos, right? The watch time is the biggest reward that you'll get from the YouTube, right? But also they love when you bring somebody in. If somebody is reading their email or someone on the internet and you made them go to YouTube and watch a video, oh man, you get a lot of brownie points. So if you have a website, that's what I started. I hired a writer. He's writing articles based on the stories that I do with my videos. People will find it there, and then I send them to my YouTube channel, right? Oh, YouTube loves that. Or you can say, hey, why don't you subscribe to my letter, become a VIP, and you get an extra news story per week, which my writer will write for an extra $10, no big deal. But these people will sign up for the mailing list, and they will click, and I'll bring another person at this little session start. Oh, session starts are the best. So yeah, absolutely. And make sure you're on Twitter, make sure you're on LinkedIn, make sure you're on Facebook. Even if you're a millennial, you have to be on Facebook, Facebook groups, all other social media, including TikTok. And if you don't know what TikTok is, ask your kids. They will definitely know what TikTok is. But yes.
I want to add to the group things. Aside from I think Facebook groups are the most powerful place on the internet to find your niche and build more of a community that will ultimately be your audience. Like, Facebook groups are unbelievable. If you can ever become a moderator of a Facebook group where you find a niche that there isn't a Facebook group for, and you can start it and become the moderator of the biggest group, that's an asset. It's going to be far more valuable than your channel, your blog, and
And I think Eli, the reasons he's saying is because that's how I started. So when I bought my first electric car, everybody thought I was an idiot. Now it's cool, but everyone's thought I was an idiot. So I tried to find other idiots like me on Facebook, and I started a group. Then once it became cool, it grew, and I started a YouTube channel to provide a service to everybody to keep up to date on what's going on with electric cars. So I just walked into it, but yes, I started with a Facebook group. It's like, yeah, it's actually the same. It's about 30,000 members, right, between the Model S, Model 3. And every time a new model comes out, so obviously I know when a new model is going to come out, I start a new Facebook group for that model. Usually you're the first one to start. That's where people are going to flock to, a lot of times from other groups. And once again, you become, and brands know, like my Tesla group, oh, it has Tesla people, members watching what's going on and participating sometimes too. So absolutely, Facebook groups. Yes?
Is there any, or I can probably look this up on the web, I guess, is there any known difference in like how successful a channel is if the YouTube videos are not a spokesperson that you usually see, it's just like audio and you see like their desktop, if they're like describing how to write code on a computer, or they're talking about a music group or something, they just show photos of, let's say, Metallica, rather than if the video is actually just pictures of that band versus me as a host on the screen. Is there any difference in like attention rate or
that is all up to you. It's all up to you. Every channel is going to be different. I got to tell you, I do things on my channel that I see other when I used to do it. When I see a successful YouTube channel do something, same topic. Sometimes I beat them to the actual posting it before them. Sometimes the YouTube will be like, nah, right? And their videos will be like getting millions and millions of views. You just never know. We were just talking about, with Eli about that algorithm, you'll never know. You're just going to have to find out. But follow Nick Nimmin, follow Owen Video, and Daryl Eves. All of that is addressed there. And there is no recipe. You will only get a general idea where you need to be looking at. And usually your answers you will find in the stats. YouTube will provide amazing stats for you. And the most important ones is how many people are clicking on your thumbnail. What's the click-through rate, right? Out of 100 times they showed your thumbnails, how many times people actually clicked on it? Because, and I know this is going to sound crazy, and again, this is really more of a how to do YouTube in general. Making a good thumbnail is more important than making a good video, because if people are not clicking on them, it doesn't matter how many people are not watching your amazing video. So that's a whole different story, yes?
seriously, the thumbnail thing, the most important thing Alex convinced me of was to sign up for TubeBuddy on YouTube, which allowed me to do A/B testing with thumbnails. I started making better thumbnails based on watching videos from guys like Nick Nimmin and stuff like that. I watched on my old 1.6% click-through rates to as high as 8%. And what that translates to in views over time is enormous for channel growth, pay-per-click ads, B-roll, just total exposure. Like, it was everything. Yeah, same video, but I increased my reach by 8x by just putting it better.
Yeah.
You can have a thumbnail and it'll run for 2 years, and just by changing that thumbnail for that same video, boom, all of a sudden they think it's a new video too, and you get all those new clicks. And
Yeah. But just don't forget, your goal should not be the views or subscribers or thumbnail. Your goal should be how much money you're going to be making, because that's what the small business is about, right? So you may have 100 views on one video, but if you can convert one of them to a $300 sale, it's so much better, I think, than having 10,000 views and making no sales, or selling maybe $10 worth of t-shirts, right? So make sure, don't necessarily put all of your energy into views and subscribers and all that stuff. Make sure that you know what the true value is, which is in dollar amount rather than subscriber amount. Yes?
So if you have a low subscription, how do you get your videos seen then?
Well, there are quite a few different ways. Just putting it out there, obviously you want to tag it, you want to have a good title, you want to have a good thumbnail and so forth. Once you put it out there, the YouTube universe will give you probably 100 views, freebie, right? Then you, of course, you want to post in some of the groups that you're a member of without spamming. If you have a website, if you have a social media like Instagram and so forth. In the beginning, it's really tough, right? Like you'll be struggling for views. But make sure that when people are watching, they like what they see, they give you good watch rate, they subscribe, but most importantly, they buy whatever it is that you're selling, right? This is why, like my new channel, I don't care how many views I'm going to be getting in terms of whether it's going to be the same as my current channel, because I'll be specifically selling a course. So if 10 people watch my video and 2 of them buy it, I win. That's $600, right? So, but yes, again, follow Nickname and many other people, because it's a completely different conversation about how to get the views and subscribers. It is also a very difficult journey, but make sure that before you get to that, you know where you're going and how much money and how you're going to be earning that money. Does that make sense?
What is your new YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is about how to make money on YouTube.
Yeah, what's it called?
Social income. Because when you cross S and an I, it makes a $sign and a logo. Making logo was easy, so yeah. And so social income. So I'll start it with, my name is Alex Guberman. I'm with socialincomeacademy.com, and I will never mention it again throughout the video, because right away they'll be like, "Oh, this guy seems like he has an academy. I should definitely check it out." And the URL was right there. And then they're going to go there, and it's a matter of just selling them the course. You know, and when I'm going to be making videos about how important the media kit, I mean, why would you not go and pay me $99 and I'll tell you how to make a media kit so your reply rate from the PR people will be 5 times better, right? That's a bargain if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many people on the internet are making money, helping people make money? And that's not what I'm selling, and so I'm just wondering, I'm ranking for, I just found out today, I'm ranking 7 on Divine Feminine. And I have Divine Feminine courses, I'm a Divine Feminine educator. So, but I'm not teaching people how to make money. So I'm just.
Well, are you teaching something?
Yeah.
It's worth money?
Yeah.
Then sell that.
Yeah, I do, but I just, it's like,
If what?
do people really buy things on the internet?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars every day.
Yeah. It's just a matter of are they buying from you, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing you need to tune up, basically, right? Are you going after them in the right place, right? You need to make sure you go into the right audience. Are you talking about stuff that they're interested in, and are you positioning yourself as an expert where they'll trust you enough to pay you money to get a much more precise and just basically more professional opinion, and that's for you to answer.
And just like he said earlier, the world is your audience. And he just said, I only need 10 people to look, 2 to buy. I just made money. Well, now he's going out to the World Wide Web.
Yeah. It's really not about how
You
much.
don't have to do 2 to 3 videos in YouTube a week to rank, because I do more blog, I'm more successful blog. So I could take YouTube videos. Actually, Lumen 5, I don't know if you know Lumen 5.
Guys, I'm going to wrap up real quick. We're going to continue asking questions. I know Alex is
Yeah, I'll
gonna
be here.
Stick around.
I'll stick around.
Thank
so if
you.
you have questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out. Lots of great questions. It's always great to hear the different areas and different places where people want to go. And that's what the survey is about. Definitely let me know about what you want to learn. Yes, you can sell things. Yes, there's a lot of people making money teaching people, right? Selling picks and shovels, not really going for the gold, right? Selling picks and shovels. And to answer your question, there's lots of different ways you can put your course out there on platforms like Teachable and Kajabi. there's a couple different models of just going right after it if you have a list or you're really good at marketing, or kind of building that up and really proving out your concept on a platform like Udemy. So those are the types of stuff that we want to dig deeper in. Today we did a good deep dive on YouTube, so definitely fill out the survey, and thank you all for coming. This is a great turnout. I see some people who've been around for some of our other sessions, so thank you guys very much. And again, Alex is going to be here answering questions. I need to pack up and actually get going, but thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you.